So hi, Brendan. Nice to catch up with you again. And so the reason I'm talking to you today is because you're a big games fan, and especially you've done a lot of work around project management games and project management workshops. So how did this start actually? And what was the first game around project management that you created and delivered?
So I've been delivering project management courses and mostly Prince2 based courses since about 2007. And along at the side of that, I'm also a board game fan. And about 25 years ago, I'm an ex Montessori teacher. And Montessori is very a lot of learning by doing. So
Oh,
I
wow.
started a lot of Montessori schools in Norway and was one of the founders of Montessori Europe movement. And then this idea of learning by doing, and I've always been impressed by a lot of these agile workshops that are able to do a lot of exercises and nice games. How can we get more games into the courses, into the workshops?
Yeah.
People like learning, people like getting better, and people like having fun. And it's sort of like stacking these things on top of each other. And that was the idea. There has to be games to get into this project management and see how people can work together and at the same time learn the concepts of working better as a team to get the successful projects.
Great. So I didn't know you were a Montessori teacher, so that's actually news. So okay, that probably shows why you work in that manner. So what was the first game for project managers, and how did it go? What did you learn from the first game?
Well, the main game that I use is called Pandemic. There's 15 different variants of the game Pandemic. And the very
Mm,
first time we used that, we had no idea what was going to happen other than I've seen what happens when neighbors and friends play the game together. There's a lot of arguing. And I thought, like, let's bring that into the workplace. So we brought it into a workplace. And the first game session, I think there was 25 people in the room. And on purpose, I asked people to sit in groups of 5 or 6. And I knew some of the people that I was putting together hadn't got a high level of communication. There was some alpha males giving orders, and there was other groups of people that I knew weren't the best at taking decisions. It was
yeah.
much more like, what do you think? And what do you think about that? And what do you think we should do? And so I was sort of like planning that something special would happen, and it did. It was real fireworks. We had arguments over in the table with people shouting, I know what to do, stop telling me what to do, I know what to do. And the other group over here said, well, what do you think we should do? And I'm not so sure, what do you think we should do? So things happen as expected, and what we usually do is we play from 9 o'clock up until lunch. We play the game. That's that part of the workshop.
From 9 to lunch. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So what changes did you make for the second outing of that pandemic game? And it's a great name now, Pandemic. So
It's perfect. It's so good. But there's like 3 rounds between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock. There's like 3 rounds of the game. So what we do is we play the game, and then I take over the whole room and say, like, okay, so one of the key things that we have to do in any project is this idea of learning from experience or retrospectives. And we say, like, so what would we do? How can we beat this game? Because every group was losing. They were like losing big time in the game. It's a really difficult game to win. You have to work together as a team. So I tell them, a gang cannot win this game. The board wins the game. So it's either the board's going to win the game, or the team wins the game. And that team have
okay.
to work together as a team. So we talk about what is a team. A team is somebody that's going to influence what happens among these people. So we let them come up with this definition, and then we do the retrospective. So after 45 minutes, we're doing a retrospective and say, what can we do to beat the game? And then I say, let's go. We get the timer on the wall, and we're in the second round. And everybody lost a game. And it was like, something going on here. What do we do to beat this game? And now you see people like really getting irritated. They want to be the first group to beat this game. So they're like, come on, we can do this. And how can we help each other? And what should they do when they're playing the next round of the game?
Yeah. Okay. So the idea is to beat the board itself. That's what you said. Okay. All right. And then, so I presume, did people then start to beat the board as they went to the second and third round?
Not in the second round, but in the third round, they definitely had such a high level of frustration that they did something really special. In almost every team comes to that level, and that's why I've continued using the board game in further workshops after that. So in Pandemic, there's something that happens is that, and this happens, it's a role-based game, which means that everybody gets served out a role at the start of the game. So there's different roles. You could have a role and it says, this is your role on a card, but you have some special skills. So if Frank was playing this game, you'd have a card giving out to you. This is your role. You're the medical specialist. And you've got these special skills. And on your card, it says what you're really good at. Now, the first time we play this, nobody cares what anybody else is. Everybody's got to focus on themselves. And it's like, me. And I know what to do. And I'm going to win this game. And the second time they play it, they're sort of looking, what's your special skill over there? And what can you do? And then the third time everybody plays, after 2 retrospectives, somebody finally gets it and say, okay, stop. Now, everybody, tell everybody else what your special skill is. Now, if everybody understands what everybody's special skill is, then we can tap into everybody's special skill. We can use that special skills together as a team, and then we can beat the game. And that's when they start winning the game, whenever they really work as a team and tap into each other's special skills. Now you can see why I get this to real life, right? Oh, are you muted? I lost your sound. I lost your sound, Frank. What happens? There, I got you.
Great. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so what was the feedback from the people based on this?
Forward to Lunch, they thought it was great because it takes like 10 minutes to get in, 5 minutes to get into this competition mindset that let's beat the game. And it's just like in real life, you get a project and you get people that are really geared and it's like, let's beat the project. And maybe you get one person that's going to lean back and say, no, first I think we should read all the rules. And there's somebody saying, no, let's start making stuff, let's start doing stuff, and let's start winning the game. And then you see these, our job during these rounds is to observe what type of people we have. So we have like these different roles that are really visible after like a couple of minutes in the game. And that's like a project management as well. It sort of gets back to my Montessori background, that you really see what's happening when you just sit down on a chair and observe the team working. And you see like who's talking to who's asking questions, who's coming up with a suggestion. Everybody looks at the person, give the suggestion, just ignores them and gets back to work. And it's like all of these different things are happening, but it's happening not over weeks. It's happening inside like 45 minutes of a game. And you can see all of these personalities develop. It's real fun.
Okay, good. So that's the pandemic game. You also mentioned before that you had a pizza game or something. What is that? Or a pizza workshop for creating pizzas?
Yeah, that was, we did that. That was on Valentine's Day because it was really nice. We had these, we buy in the pizza ovens. Like I think we had 2 pizza ovens, and we're dividing up the teams, and we have this special order coming in, but we have limited resources, all of these ingredients, and people have to book the pizza ovens, and it's just like, it's a real life pizza workshop. So, and we do all the product descriptions, and we do all the stakeholder management and the acceptance criteria, the quality criteria, do everything. And it's always impressive to see how fast teams just start making pizzas without even knowing what the customer wants to end up with. That's always it's a really impressive thing. And again, you do retrospectives, and as long as we keep doing these retrospectives, it's fine. But even the retrospectives are like, let's get this retrospective finished as fast as possible because we've got to make more pizzas. Even though they're the wrong pizzas, people get in like, we've got to make more pizza.
Yeah, we are being productive. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's the wrong product, but we're making something.
All right. And do you have other games as well around project management, which that you have good feedback from?
Well, that pandemic one, and I was down in Bangalore in October, and one of the workshops that I was doing with them in Bangalore was this idea of 3 things. So usually when I'm doing a workshop, it's like, okay, give me 3 things that we want that at the end of the session, we want people to have experienced more. That's sort of like, we can't really do more than 3. Like 5 is like too many. People don't remember. But if people come home in the evening, here's the 3 things. And they were like, we would like this faster feedback loop. So between Scandinavia and India, we need to have not just a fast feedback loop, but we need a faster feedback loop. So that was number 1. And number 2 is that a lot of people that are working with teams in India, they know that the people in India have just this high level of empathy and really want to please the customers. It's like some of the most beautiful people you'll meet in India, but they don't speak their mind. So number 2 down in Bangalore was help us that the customers in Scandinavia, we want the experts in India, the people creating the products, we want them to tell us what they think. We really want them to speak their mind. So how can we do that? And third one was the shortest route from A to B. And the shortest route from A to B is this idea of you go exactly to that person. It's not that I'm going to send an email and I'll wait 3 days and see if I get an answer. It's just go straight to that person and
Oh, wow.
really go the shortest route. So those were the three ideas that we came up with of sort of like a week's workshop in Bangalore. And then we played Pandemic and another bluffing type game, which people like really open up. There's lots of these like bluffing games that exist now. It's real fun. It's like really good party games to get people to open up and to challenge each other, and people have to read the body language, and you get somebody working in India and you get a manager from Norway and the company that is, and they come in and they're like this big difference between them, but in the game they're like totally level, and they're challenging each other, and they're speaking their mind, and they're calling each other's bluff, and that's like these really nice icebreakers to get into these team exercise afterwards.
Okay. So how did it work out in India then? What was the result of those three things you were trying to get across?
Well, I'm a big fan of visualization, like a really big fan. So on the walls we have these three things nonstop, and we have these armbands. Here you see the green, white, and orange, the Irish colours. So we have these orange bands, these wristbands that we always share out, and we share out T-shirts, and we go really all in. It's like all in for the workshop that we want to achieve. And then we go back to the start, and like, what are these three things there? So whenever people in 1 year, I want these people in the workshop to remember those three things out of those workshops. That was that. So they thought it was great. They thought it was
Wow.
great fun that they were able to play towards achieving the goal. And they also really appreciated that somebody met them at their level of empathy and energy. And they're the most kind people I've ever worked with that, probably the highest level of empathy. So at the end, we had all this dancing and singing and party, and they said, they stopped the party. And it's like, Brendan, can you get up on the stage and have this special present that they're going to give to me, like this really beautiful
Wow.
Buddha head and this little statue. So I always have this statue down in my office, and it's like this reminder. I have so much like really nice contact with them still. And I really get back to like this idea that people come into work every morning, and whenever they come home in the evening, they always want to say, today was okay at work. That's all anybody ever wants to say. It's like their partner says, how was work today? And most people just want to say, it was okay. And that's I think that's what we have to aim a lot more. People aren't expecting like it was totally amazing, it was fantastic. But
Yeah.
people aren't there. They're like, it was okay. So I think that's they really appreciated this idea of let's play towards getting these three values or ideas implanted a lot more.
Okay. So the first workshops then were focused on these three ideas getting across, and then you finished it up with the game to Pandemic to see it all working together. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I tell you, after we do this, the key thing, because the goal is not playing a game. That's never the goal. And the goal is, so whenever we play a Pandemic, you get this role card. Now, in a project, if there's 10 people coming together in a project, everybody's got a role card with special skills on it. Okay, so it could be like Bob has got a role card, and it said that he can throw together presentations inside 10 minutes. He's really good at solving conflicts in the workplace, and he's really good at checking budgets. Now, if I'm in a project with Bob, I got to know what his special skills are. So what we do is that we, after lunch in a Pandemic workshop, what we do is we create role cards. So if there's 25 people in the room, we get, after a little session, we have 25 role cards, and we get one-on-one person to stand up and say what they're good at. Not what they're bad at, only what they're good at. And that's their special skills. And some people it's translation, some people it's budget, some people it's spell checking, some people it's tender, some people it's project documents. It can be different things. And what we do with all of these special skill cards is we get them on A3 size and get them on the wall where we have the daily stand-ups every morning, which means that in a daily stand-up, this is the work that we have to do today. This is the game that we have to beat today. And then we look at the team and we're saying, okay, who have we got? And who's got the special skills to do that work? Obviously, you three people should meet together after the stand-up and discuss this, because you got the special skills. And that's the bridge between bridging something, how to play and how to get the idea that we really have to understand each other's special skills. And this idea of this lean waste, that if we're not tapping into each other's special skills, then it's obviously a waste in the workplace. So how can we do that? And that's what we do after pandemic. We get the roll cards with a Polaroid. We take this Polaroid photographs, get the Polaroid picture, special skills, like a proper roll card on the wall. This is where we have daily stand-ups at 8:15. They're going to be there. That's our team. That's a team that we have to tap into. It's a really nice way to end the workshop.
Does it also help you to recognize skills that perhaps you don't have, that someone can go off and chase and
Man, that's a
bring it
good
in?
question. It's so crazy the amount of times that people are saying like, yeah, I've got this hobby where I do video editing. Like most nights I'm just editing video. And you see like the boss in the corner going, what? Do you like video? Do you do video editing? And people are like so surprised at all these special skills that people have, but we don't use them because we don't know them. And we don't know them because we don't have this time to tap into each other's special skills. So that's a really good question, and it's something that almost every leader gets this aha effect during an exercise.
I can imagine, because then you look at your team members much differently. Then it's not just that person that you know in front of you. You're seeing all these different capabilities which are there, and that
Exactly.
that helps a lot. Okay.
Yeah. And this taps so great into Prince2 with the product descriptions of the skills required. It taps great into the whole agile world with user stories, and there's discussions about what skills and competencies do we need to create the products. So you get the products, and then you're looking at the team and saying, not who have we got, but you're still looking at what skills have we got, and then it's this teamwork together to get the work done.
So if people want to contact you, how do people contact you, Brendan?
Yeah, so I've got most of the information on my website. It's brendanmartin.com. And
I'll put the link below.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of sharing everything. So anything that I create or do once, I give away for free. Great. So all of the information, how to run these workshops, everything's on my website. There's coaching information. There's even a research paper somebody's done on playing pandemic in the workplace, the effect of that and based on teams. So all of the information is there, all of the coaching questions, everything that you'll find that on my website.
Okay. And is it possible to help somebody remotely if they're interested in running this game?
Definitely. That's no problem.
Great.
It's I think once you get that bridge and you understand the bridge of how to play a game, because some people will say, why are we wasting time playing this game? As long as you get the bridge over to this is how it's going to help them in real life, and you really believe that's going to help them, that's how you can spend the time playing these games. So we never play games for games. We play games because this is going to create a good team, and that's something. I mean, anybody that sees this or listens to this, they can tap into this, and I'm all in for helping anybody to have more fun in the workplace.
That's brilliant. I wish there was more people like you in the community. It will help a lot. Okay.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's so many great games workshops like sites all around. But it's just this idea of just helping people get it going. And I think that's a really nice idea. Like, I really appreciate this chance as well. Thanks.
Okay. All right, Brendan, that's enough for now. I think we've gone above our 20 minutes so far. So it is very nice talking to you, and hopefully we'll be in touch again. Ciao.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Take it easy.